Hey, Coach. Brian Burns with the groin added to the injury report today. Wasn't on there yesterday. Something that came up in practice today.
He's on the injury report today. Is limited. Just happened yesterday at practice.
Anything that you're concerned about moving forward?
No, I would expect. I would expect that he'd play well.
All right. Does anyone else have a question for Coach?
Yeah, just following up on Brian Burns. It seems like he's kind of developing that signature spin move. Does that remind you of any player that you've seen in the past? And do you think that's his best pass rushing attribute? Is that spin move?
I mean, it's good. I think his best move is just when he goes off the edge, attacks the guy's outside shoulder, leans and reaches with the outside arm. That's what most of his sacks have come from. But I think the spin's a great counter. He can spin. He can set the guy high and spin back inside. He can go in and spin back outside. In terms of reminding me of anyone, I mean, Dwight Freeney's the greatest spin move guy of all time. I wouldn't say it's there yet. Dwight Freeney did it for years and years and years. But Brian's a young player, and he's developing. And the thing I like about what he does is he's developing different moves. He's developing different strategies. He's learning how to rush, the different things that he gets. And so that spin move, though, is when used at the correct time, can be really lethal.
Let's go to Phil Orban and then Bill Voth.
Matt, to what extent can this be a measuring stick game in terms of measuring how far this team has come from week 2, considering you guys are, same team, and obviously the situations are a bit different, but there should be a way to kind of see your progress in this one, perhaps? Yeah,
I don't ever look at things as measuring stick. For me, I think each week you measure yourself against, the improvement of the week before. I think what's unique is, as you said, is we have a chance to see our improvement from, the last time we played them till now. They're a different team. We're a different team. We had, last time we played them, we had, McCaffrey and KK and different guys like that out there playing for us. They had different people. So I think, every team is a unique, organism each year. It grows and improves and changes, and you want to make sure that you're getting better. So I think we'll find out. My main measuring stick each week is, are we a better team this week than we were last week? Have we improved from the team that played the Chiefs last Sunday? That's I'm just sort of a slight edge guy, just trying, hoping that we get better and better and better. I'm hopeful that we play better this week than we did, last week.
But if I could just follow up, I guess when you look back at that week 2 game, are you able to identify things that you are either much better at or not as improved as you would have liked to be at this point in the season?
We're much better at a lot of different things from that game. That game was an example of us really beating ourselves in a lot of areas. I think I said it yesterday. I think it was like 9 penalties, 23 pressures, 5 sacks, 4 giveaways. I think those are the numbers. 9 negative plays. I mean, we really, got up to a 21-0 deficit and then fought and crawled back into the game. We've improved in a lot of areas. I think 4 or 5 of our penalties on defense in that game extended drives for them. We had a couple of personal fouls that we were off the field and put them back on the field. But, they're playing with different players now, in some areas. Chris Godwin didn't play against us. Antonio Brown didn't play. We have, so I just think we're different teams. But I do think there's a lot of areas that we've improved in. I'm very pleased with our team's improvement throughout the course of the year. It just, at the end of the day, there's just a lot more that we have to get better at.
Matt, and you're pleased with the team's improvement. I'm wondering, how do you think the coaching staff has improved since week 2? Now that you've got 9 games under your belt together?
I'd say the same thing. I'd say that our coaches have adapted to, a new situation, different players, guys in and out of the lineup. I think they've made the most of their opportunities. They've, putting our players in good position to make plays. I think just like the team, I think, there's always things that we have to continue to improve on as a coaching staff. I think each and every week you go back and you look at your players, you look at your staff, you look at yourself as a head coach, and you say, what did we do well? What did we not do well? What can we improve upon? And I think when you have that sort of love of the process, you don't get quite as caught up in the result. You just, surrender the result and just focus on that improvement. And I think I know our coaching staff works really hard, and I just think that they're doing a nice job, and we have to continue to do better and better.
Next question will go to Joe Person, followed by Steve Reed.
And then I actually have two real quick. We always say they're quick. Joe Brady is already kind of popping up on, for what it's worth, on head coaching candidate type lists. Just wonder kind of how you approach that. We haven't talked with you about that philosophically about, of course, probably just how you approach that with staff members.
In terms of just,
I guess, wanting, whether you want them to pursue that kind of thing or talking to them about the right opportunity, the right timing of these sorts of.
Yeah, I mean, I want every player, coach, staff member, I want everyone that's here to appreciate the opportunity they have here. That Mr. Tepper's afforded us the chance to be here, but I also want them to chase their dreams and go have unreal success. Whereas, sometimes people just see a name of a coach. I see their families, I see their girlfriends, their wives, their kids, and I want everyone to have success. And I think when you do that, when you're loyal to the people that work for you, it breeds loyalty. I know some of you guys know that a lot of people have been with me for a long time, and I would hope that a lot of people will continue to be with me for a long time. That being said, I don't have a problem with anyone handling anything as long as they're doing their job at a high level while we're here. And, I know all the coaches on our staff, opportunities will come, but, we're pretty resolute about getting this season as good as we can make it. We want to improve as far as we can and have as good a team as we can have. And so I think everyone's attention is based upon the hours I see them working and the way that I see them coaching and the way that I see them, doing things. I think there's no doubt in my mind that our guys are really focused on the here and now. But at the right time, if guys have opportunities, I will always 1000% support them as long as they're honest with me and tell me about what's going on.
And then the other thing was completely unrelated. Just wondered, saw you had Tommy Stevens in. If you think you're going to sign him, and would it be as a quarterback or a tight end?
I'll probably wait till later just to see how that process works out. Testing and all that stuff. But Tommy's a guy we had a lot of respect for. Going back to college, and so wait and see if it works out.
Hey, Matt, I was wondering, as you're going back through film and watching Tampa Bay and what the Saints did to them to really slow their offense down, what did you learn from what the Saints did, and what do you guys got to do to translate that on Sunday yourselves?
The Saints just played really, really well. I mean, they covered well. They stopped the run. They got pressure on the quarterback. I mean, I don't think it's what they did. It's just how they played. They just played well. And I think for us, I don't think you can necessarily go out and say, hey, we're going to copy this or copy that. In fact, I think if you try to do something that they did, Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, I'm sure they went back and looked at the things and they'd have an answer for it so quickly. I think we have to just do what we do and take advantage of the players that we have that are out there for us. And just the key being that it's how we do what we do. And I believe that with all my heart and soul. I tell our team all the time, like, there's 3-4 teams that win the Super Bowl. There's 4-3 teams that win the Super Bowl. There's teams that play man free. There's teams that play all zone. Like, people, we all have a tendency to get caught up in like what we're doing, but it's really just how you're doing it. There's 2-back teams that go to the Super Bowl. There's 1-back almost spread teams that go to the Super Bowl. And what you can't do is you can't try to copy someone else. You have to take advantage of the players that you have and say, what can we do and be successful at? And I think the Saints just, they just played really well. And, Tampa's an outstanding team, and they'll they'll play a great game on Sunday, and we have to make sure that we just do what we do and try to do it as well as possible. But I just don't think there's much we can take from that game other than, just studying Tampa and the way that they did things.
Let's go to David Newton and then Atlanta Getzenberg.
Hey, Matt, a lot of times when the team has a lot of penalties, they have to do it being undisciplined. And what when you look at the penalties you guys have had this year, what would you attribute that to? Because it seems to be an issue that crops up more times than not.
Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, the unique thing is I wish it was like that easy for me. Like, and it's hard, to be honest with you, David. It's hard because like one game it's like 3 penalties, right? And then the next game it's 12. I think the Saints was maybe like 1 penalty. So if it was like as cut and dry as like, hey, we're just a pretty undisciplined team, we would just continue to try to be a more and more and more disciplined team. And as I went back and studied the Panthers, like just, hey, when we win, what do we look like? When we lose, we look like. Historically it's been like, hey, when we've had a lot of penalties, we haven't played as well. But I go back to the Arizona Cardinal game this year. So I thought maybe that was it this year, but I go to the Cardinals game. I think we had like 11, 12, 13 penalties in that game. And that might've been our best game this year. So, I try to kind of put them in categories, right? Like, aggressive penalties versus tentative penalties versus pre-snap penalties. So I think on offense, I've just told Joe and them, like, we cannot win and have these pre-snap penalties, guys lining up wrong, it just can't happen. And that can be for a lot of different reasons. It can be players pressing, players not preparing, which is not the case. Our players prepare. Coaches trying to do too much, put too much offense in. On defense, I can always live with the aggressive ones. We can't keep jumping off sides. Like, I think most great D-line coaches would tell you they'll give their defense one jump off sides one time. Okay, like be aggressive, but after that, we have to slow it down. So the aggressive ones when we're out there playing, I can live with all those. But I just think that we're still learning what it takes to play great football, play in and play out. And I mean that in a very respectful way. Our guys are playing so hard. I respect it. They're preparing so hard. It's just our level of being in the moment and not getting caught up in what's the score. I got to go make a play. Oh, it's third down. Like, don't get caught up in all that stuff and just reduce everything down to, I'm going to play hard. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to trust my technique and trust myself. Like, just trying to take all of this, like, hey, we got to win the game. We got to win the game and bring it down to, I'm gonna do what I do this play, and we're getting closer to that. But I think when you're in that very focused mindset of just handling one play at a time, what's next, you don't try to do too much, and then you don't jump off sides. And so I appreciate the question, I really do, because I love when you guys ask me questions that I'm thinking about all the time, and I really believe it's just that mindset of, hey, let me go do what I do. If we were punching people, hitting people late, that to me would be discipline. I think we are just learning how to play in and play out, trust ourselves, trust our technique. And the negative thing is it's not always there, but when it comes, I think it's something that stays with you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Matt, I was curious, you had Joey try these 2 long attempts late in games this year. What's your process for, like, I know you talked to Chase about what Joey's distance is and all that, but, like, what's your process in deciding late in games to go for those versus a Hail Mary? Like, who do you talk to? What factors go into that decision for you?
It just really comes down to me. Like, I don't want to be the kind of coach that sit here and says, well, I asked him and he said this, I'll just keep those conversations, at the end of the day, I have to make the decision. And I think it depends on, hey, do I think we can convert the throw as opposed to having a chance at the kick? I think, if you go back to the last one, it was just sort of, hey, the wind at our back. I thought that was probably our only chance of making that. So I think that just kind of comes down that those things inevitably, no matter who I'm taking information from, they come down to me and they're my decision, and neither one has worked out. So I think that just falls on me. What I will say is I'm always trying to improve the things that happened before that, so we're not in that situation, right? And there's some things you guys see. There's also a lot of other things that if we just kind of do the things I just said to David and just kind of execute, not try to do too much, maybe instead of being at the 65 yarder, it's a 55 yarder, and we have a chance to win the game. So, but at the end, it all comes back on me, and I take total and complete and extreme ownership of the decisions I make and whether they work or not.
And then I was curious, I know you're not gonna put like make excuses or anything like that. But having this late of a bye where you guys still have 3 more games to go before you have a bye, do you feel like, I know it's the first year, but like, do you feel like that would have been helpful to have earlier on? Or, do you think about, I know you can't change it, but is that a thought at all?
Yeah, I try to be really disciplined about not allowing myself to go there. Um, you know, I never know how things are going to turn out. What I think will be good will be bad, and what I think will be bad will be good. So I just take it as it comes. It brings me a lot of peace to just be that way. So things outside my control, I don't just accept. I just try to attack. So um, I think there's teams that probably had an early bye week that might get banged up later in the year in which they had a late bye week, and so we maybe this will come at the right time. I'm just really focused on this week.
All right, guys, we have time for 2 more, so let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then wrap up with Bill Voth.
Hey, Matt. It seems like you all are really focusing on, I guess, the things you all did wrong in the last few weeks in week 2 and self-inflicted wounds. Is there anything that Tampa does that really contributes to teams making self-inflicted wounds?
I mean, Tampa, they're just really good. I mean, they can run the football, and I think he's thrown for 370 twice this year. And this, they're as loaded with weapons now as they've ever been. And then defensively, I think they put a lot of. If you talk about the things from the first game, if you're referring to like week 2, I think they're 5 down. They bring basically 5 D linemen, 5 pass rushers in the game, and just force a one-on-one. And there's nothing easy, right? Like, they're gonna play man coverage and just bring pressure, and they're gonna bring the safeties and blitz the safeties and play man. And so they make nothing easy, and you can't. There's not a lot of time because they're bringing so much pressure, and they blitz away the run game as well. So they have outstanding players on defense. I mean, they've got a great defensive line and outside linebackers. They've got great linebackers. They have an excellent secondary. They're just they're a complete team. And but it's that blitzing, that pressure, that putting people in the box that can sometimes cause you to rush. That can sometimes can cause negative plays. And really was a lot of our issues last time were the 5 sacks. And so for us to play well, we have to play really well up front in terms of the run game and in terms of protecting the quarterback.
Matt, it's a small sample size, but it seems like you're playing a bit better on the road than at home. Are you feeling that, or is in this bizarre year, do you kind of have to? It's really hard to find trends like that.
I thought probably our best game this year was the Arizona Cardinal game, and that was at home. I think when you go on the road, the hardest thing about going on the road is the crowd, which is not really, except for Kansas City. I think they had like 18 or 20,000 people there, so you could definitely hear it. But I think the one nice thing about going on the road is just, as a team, you're kind of all in the hotel, you're on the plane together, you're all in the hotel together. Even in a COVID year, like there's a lot of camaraderie. There's sort of a sense of like closing the gates and rallying together. When you're at home, you don't really have that. So there's sort of a closeness that you have on the road, but it's just so hard because it's so loud. I think this year, because you're going into places and it's not loud, there's a certain special thing that kind of is available on the road. But I think our best game this year was at home. And so, I anticipate, and our challenges to us has been like, when we play at home, we have a chance to play in front of our fans. We have a chance to play in front of our family and our friends. And it's an opportunity for us this Sunday. Like, we know we're becoming a better team, and it's a chance for us to go out and play our best game from the people who care about us and whom we care about. So I would expect our guys to play really well this week at home.
All right, guys, we got to let them go. Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Curtis, how you doing today? You've been playing really well here the last month, and I wanted to know if there's something in Joe Brady's scheme similar to what you did in college that gives you a comfort level that you maybe haven't had completely before.
I think just, being able to move around the field, really do different things, give defenses different looks. It's kind of tough for them to be able to figure things out because I'm all over the field, just finding ways to get me the ball, just using my skill sets and my talents and, making things happen.
And the instincts you've shown as a running back really stand out. I mean, we didn't get to see that really from you before. What about that? Does that just come naturally, or do you get something you have to work on, or what?
Oh no, that's all natural. I played running back my whole life since I was a little kid growing up. Didn't really stop playing receiver, and not even really receiver. Still that hybrid type of guy, wide receiver and all that in high school. That's when I first moved to the wide receiver position. And then college, my freshman year, I played running back. My second year going into my spring, that's when I moved to receiver. So my whole life I was playing running back. It's natural to me.
Curtis, last week was an opportunity to get a win, to make the entire NFL stand up and take notice of where this Carolina Panthers team is. Now this week, you're up against Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, all that. Do you think that this weekend presents the chance for a signature win that illustrates just where the Panthers are and where they're going in this process?
Not really too concerned with everybody else. We just want to win. We don't really care too much about having the league on notice or whatever the case may be. It's all about us. We just want to play our best brand of football. We want to go out there, play a good game, play tough, play hard, come out with a win at the end of the day. That's all that matters.
All right, let's go to Sharon Thorsland for the next question.
Hey, Curtis, looking at this Bucs defense, I mean, they're obviously still playing well, but it seems like their secondary has improved over the past couple of games, particularly Carlton Davis. I think he's got 4 picks now. What do you see out of them defensively, particularly on the back end?
I mean, it's a good group of guys, they those the ones up front, they get things going. They make it easier for the back end by putting pressure on the quarterback. Not allowing the quarterback to set their feet and, make throws. So, when you have a good a good D line, the back end gets the reward. So, no, it's not really about them. It's about us just being able to protect, catch the ball, run good routes. That's all on us.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Kelly Bartik.
I was kind of going to ask that. I was wondering what you felt like you all really struggled with that allowed you all to dig that deep of a hole in that first matchup.
I don't think we really struggle with anything. It's just all about execution. Just making the plays. Eliminating negative plays. Just don't turn the ball over, whether it's ball keepers, whoever it is, what I'm saying? Everybody play a part, whether you're blocking for somebody or, whatever the case may be. If you got the ball in your hands, protect the ball, as long as we take care of the ball, what I'm saying? Our offense is good as anybody in the league. We draw the ball down the field, score touchdowns, and, that's going to help us get a win.
Hey, Curtis, Coach Rhule was talking about your vision being as a running back and your ability to anticipate holes opening up. You said you played running back your whole life. When did you realize, or maybe a coach realized, that you had that ability to see the field that way? How old were you?
I've been doing that since I was a little kid. since I was young, it just came natural to me, not really, just being able to anticipate. And I really think that come down to just knowing schemes, just understanding what the line gonna do. Just having second level reads and third level reads, something I learned in college, playing running back, just not even really worrying about the D line and just worrying about the linebacker. So you could be able to anticipate making that linebacker miss, or even, when the line go up to that linebacker, being able to make that safety miss because he coming down the hill at a certain angle. It's just things like that. It's just preparation and just really studying film and understanding where guys is coming from so you could be able to make the reads before it happened.
All right, let's go to Steve Reed for the final question before the curse.
Hey, Curtis. Just to follow up on David Newton's question and Kelly's question too. In a perfect world, would you rather play running back and be a running back than a receiver? I'm just curious if maybe if you were a little bit bigger, I don't know. Would you rather be a running back in the NFL than a wide receiver?
No, I like playing receiver. It's fun going down the field, scoring touchdowns. But I mean, I'm happy to have and fortunate enough to have these types of skill sets to be able to do different things. Line up receiver, outside, inside, backfield. It just helps my game out, and it also helps the team out because they can put me in so many different places and have so many other people on the field. You just move parts around, just get defenses that different look. Because what they're gonna say, oh, is he a running back or is he a receiver? That's up to them. So, but we're gonna do what we got to do.
All right, guys, we gotta let him go. Curtis, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
DJ.
I'm doing well.
Good. I'm good, man. You only had a couple catches past couple games. What are you trying to do, I guess, to improve? What are your thoughts on that? What do you think is has not been working the past 2 games?
Thinking about it, I really don't got to do nothing new. Just keep going out there balling like I am. Just know like the ball is gonna get spread around because as you see, Curtis is making plays, Robbie is making plays, Christian was making plays. Like throughout it, we got a whole bunch of playmakers that's just gonna get the ball and not just one person. So I'm really just laid back with it, and just how we moving is gonna help us win.
Let's go to JB Ricks.
Hey, DJ, JB Ricks here from Spectrum News 1. Thanks for taking out the time. You just mentioned Curtis and the opportunities that he's been able to take advantage of. And it's looking like Christian's going to be out for a significant amount of time again. And that's going to put him kind of in that running back hybrid position once again. Do you see opportunities maybe opening up so you can maybe climb out of the slump that's going on with your game right now?
I wouldn't call it a slump. I would just call it the ball's getting passed around more. So with Curtis though, he's always been that dynamic player that can do both. So having that, I don't think no opportunities is going past anybody. So we all just got to be able to make plays when our numbers called.
Let's go to David Newton for the next question.
Hey DJ, I want to ask you what impresses you the most about the way Curtis is being used right now?
What impresses me, that when he actually gets the ball, he's just making crazy plays. As you seen, he had the diving catch this past week, so that was something that really caught me off guard when he made it, and that he had his first 100-yard receiving game like ever. That surprised me too.
And when he goes back to the backfield, plays running back, I mean, it can't be that easy to do. I know a few people do it. I mean, have you ever done that? And just have you ever imagined doing that? And how difficult do you think that would be?
Have I done it? I've done it before. It's really not that hard, but at the same time, it is hard because you focus on receiver when you play receiver, but then they call you to go in the backfield. It's a whole different world when you go back there.
All right, you guys have any more questions for DJ? Go ahead, Jonathan, if you have one, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, DJ, I'm wondering, what do you think the biggest things you all are or need to focus on this game, compared to what happened in week 2?
We just did a bunch of self-scouting, just figured out the things that we needed to correct from the first game, especially in the first half, that we needed to fix. So going out in the first half this week, we're just gonna look to fix those things.
What were those things, if you don't mind me asking?
And I'd rather not say.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
Let's go to Sharon Thorslin, and then final question will go to Steven Toronto.
Hey DJ, when you look at obviously the game against the Saints last week, the Bucks defense did not play particularly well, but do you see them bouncing back this week? And what are your impressions of how they've been playing so far this season?
Their defense is playing real good. I expect them to bounce back and give us their best, like they always do. So I'm looking forward to a battle with their defense.
DJ, there's always a lot of pressure on the quarterback in the NFL, and Teddy Bridgewater has really handled that pressure this year quite well. How close do you think he is to getting a win that would against an opponent like Kansas City or like Tampa Bay this weekend that would really prove a point to people that he is the guy for this franchise long term, or is that not something you guys are thinking about?
I know he wants to be a franchise quarterback. Just talking to him and getting to know him. So every loss that we have has been hard, but I know every win is a team win to him. Like he just doesn't say like, "Oh, I put the team on my back to go get this win." He looks at it as everybody played a part as played a part in it to get us that win. So for him, every win is just getting us a step closer to the end of the year goal.
You guys, we got to let him go. DJ, we appreciate it. Start us off with the first one. Go for it.
Eddie, why are you wearing that?
I'm here to throw a flag on any question that I don't want to answer. No, I'm just playing. I just came from work, my other job, Foot Locker. So, yeah.
Mike Solarte, you want to ask the next one?
Is there a reason that you are working at Foot Locker?
Well, when you got a punter who is 100% on the season completing passes, man, he makes it tough on you. So, trying to find another way to generate some income.
Okay. Following up with that on a more serious nature, the bounce back nature of this game is one that you guys have to kind of lean on. Unfortunately, you guys have had to try to do it now 4 straight weeks, but do you feel you guys are getting closer as you guys were able to hang and, you continue to have last chances, have the ball last and have a chance to tie or win games? I mean, do you guys feel like you maybe are turning that corner a little?
Definitely. But we don't want to keep saying that we're getting closer because, that could put into, someone's mind that, man, maybe if this guy does something a little different, or if this guy would have did this, as long as I did my job, we're close enough. So we just want to make sure that, we're representing this brand, being an example of this brand, not just, forming opinions and things like that. So each day we just come in with this mindset to try to get better, be 1-0 each week. The past couple of weeks, have been some tough losses, but we get another opportunity this Sunday.
All right, let's go back to Bill Voth for the next question.
Hey, Teddy, know you were asked about the third quarter the other day. I'm curious, when you're studying stuff, do you look at trends of things like, hey, look, here's what we're doing in the third quarter, and here's what we're doing well, here's what we're not?
Yeah, definitely. And it's all about our in-game process. Just trying to find ways to improve that. If we can just figure out what's going on or just continue to improve our in-game process, we'll fix a lot of things that happen on Sunday.
Matt Rhule yesterday said he's losing sleep over the third quarter stuff. I imagine you don't stress that much, though.
No, I lose sleep about it as well. When you look at the second half, whether we're getting the ball to start or, we're on defense to start, obviously us scoring points is most important. So that's something that we want to make sure that we just address and, try to fix moving forward.
Anybody else have a question for Teddy?
Yes, I do. Hey, Teddy.
What's up, Joe?
Good to see you, man. I like the effort there with the stripes. Matt Rhule, excuse me. Joe Brady is a guy who's showing up on a lot of already like becoming head coaching candidate type lists. You've been in 2 different places now. Do you think? I'm not trying to get you to run him out of the building already. Do you think he's a guy that you could see becoming a head coach sooner rather than later?
Definitely. Joe is just a guy, who has been the same, throughout this entire process. We love that, he's able to just bring out the best in, different guys around here. You look at, certain things that we're doing, individually, Joe is a huge, part of that along with the other coaches on the staff. So, we're aware of, things happen throughout the course of the season, but at the end of the day, we just want to focus on what's in front of us right now, and that's Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Is it ever like a point of like, you have to like kind of joke with him about it if you see him mentioned in a story like that?
Yeah, definitely. But I think, man, when you think about situations like that, it's a testament to your head coach as well. As a head coach, I think you want to be able to groom, your coordinators to eventually be head coaches and your position coaches to be coordinators and eventually head coaches. So, from top down with, Coach Rhule and the way, the staff has come together in such little time, it's just, fun to be a part of, and, it's very exciting to be a part of.
Let's go to David Newton and then JB Ricks.
Hey, Teddy, regarding your shirt, I know you were kind of having fun with that, but we don't get to see your personality a lot because we're not in the locker room around that. I know Matt Rhule was also talking about how penalties have been costing the team. Is anything to do with your shirt about that, or trying to emphasize that, or just have fun with that, or what's the real deal?
I'm gonna throw a flag on you on that play. But no, when you look at the games, man, especially not trying to go back to Sunday, but when you do play great teams in this league and you have 12 penalties or, multiple penalties, that can show up to be the reason or part of the reason that you lose the game. The shirt had nothing to do with it, but, we understand that that's a part of beating ourselves, penalties, negative plays. If we could just eliminate those, win the toxic battles and field position situations and things like that, I think we got a pretty good team.
Nice whistle you made there. I wanted to also ask you about Curtis Samuel. Chemistry your guys are developing. Is there anything y'all done away from the field to kind of make that stronger or anything? And how would you describe it right now?
Honestly, man, guys are just playing football. And that entire receiver room, those guys are just feeding off of each other's energy. Each week, different guys are making plays. One week you might see DJ going up, making a catch 40 yards, 50 yards down the field. The next week you might see Robbie running a 6-yard route and getting 20 yards. Curtis making a big play on third down. So, that entire room, those guys just look forward to each day that they get to come to work and lock in on the installs, the game plans, and they get excited when they see that the number's going to be called. So Curtis has been making some plays for us the past couple of weeks, well, all season, along with DJ and Robbie. So we're excited that they're on our team.
Hey, Teddy, JB here from Spectrum News 1, man. I love the humor you're bringing to today's Zoom presser. I wanted to go back to Joe Brady. He mentioned earlier today that he hopes to be on the field when it comes to calling plays and kind of like being next to you or with the offense or whatever moving forward. What is your preference as a quarterback when it comes to your offensive coordinator or whoever may be calling the plays for you throughout your entire career, college and the NFL? Would you prefer to have your offensive coordinator right there next to you or still doing the communication from up in the booth?
I've had the opportunity to have, my coordinator in the press box early in my career. Then when I was in New Orleans, Sean was on the field. So, honestly, it's whatever most comfortable for them to ensure that they call a great game. Some guys may perform better, in the press box where they don't have to deal with the noise, the chaos on the sidelines. And some guys may need to be on the field, to see where the ball is actually spotted and to really feel like they're part of the game. For me, I enjoyed having Joe on the sideline last week. He sees the game. We see the game the same. We're having the same ideas when we come off the field. And then he's able to just go down, talk to the offensive line, talk to the running backs, the wide receivers, tight ends. So it was huge having him on the sideline last week.
Thanks, man. And thanks for not throwing the flag on me.
No problem.
All right, guys, we got time for 3 more. So let's go to Alina Gutzenberg, then Steve Reed, and finish with Joe Person.
Hey, Teddy, I was wondering, DJ mentioned that you guys did a little bit of like self-scouting from the other Tampa Bay game and that sort of thing. I was curious, what do you feel like this offense, how has it developed, since back to week 2 or like earlier in the season? What do you think you guys are doing better or, yeah?
I think, man, honestly, guys are playing for one another. You look at that first Tampa game, especially in the first half, a guy gets tackled. He's getting up off the ground by himself. And then you look at that second half of that game, you started seeing guys picking each other up. And then as the weeks, started rolling, guys started just being there for each other. A guy makes a play, one of the guys are down there to high five him. We get in the end zone, you see Timo spiking the ball. And everyone has just made it about the team. They've been able to put the individual success and the individual mindset aside and just understand that, man, in order to have individual success, it has to come together as a team. And, guys understand that.
And then I also want to say happy belated birthday. Did you get to do anything for your birthday or COVID kind of make it?
Thank you. I was able to go to Olive Garden. I had a salad and some bread. It was pretty good. All right, Joe, you there?
I will go. I think it was Steve Reed next, but since the referee appointed me next, I wanted to ask you, the NFL owners yesterday approved some incentives for the Rooney Rule to reward teams with draft picks who develop minority coaches, head coaches, and GMs. Just your thoughts on that, if you thought it was needed and if you thought it was a good step or not.
It was definitely a good step, I feel, as long as it's genuine. You know, I'd hate to see that, you know, it's being done just to get these draft picks. So, I mean, I can't really speak too much on it. You know, I've been, like I always say, I've been in this bubble since the season started. But it is great to see that, you know, more minority coaches and, you know, things like that are falling in place for them to be able to be promoted. And, you know, you reward coaching staff. Like I said, you know, it speaks volumes of head coaches when you see coordinators go get head coaching jobs, different places. So it was pretty exciting to see.
Sorry, Teddy, I missed my spot there, but Joe picked up nicely. Hey, Teddy, Tom Brady had a very un-Tom Brady-like game last week. Wonder as a quarterback, if you can kind of speak to maybe what's kind of going through his mind this week in terms of how to make changes, and does it concern you that you guys are going to face Brady after a week in which he, you know, really sort of struggled?
Yeah, I definitely got to throw a flag on that play. You know, that's something you got to ask Tom Brady. For me, you know, it's just all about us and what we can do here to put ourselves in position to win the football game. We can't make it about our opponents each week. You know, it has to be about us and not beating ourselves. So that's my best way to answer that question.
Hey Teddy, can I ask a quick one? Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
I was wondering what you got at Olive Garden. I know you can't get your grits and syrup, which you should throw a flag on that play. What did you get there?
Yeah, I had some bread and a salad. I took a little cranberry juice from the facility. So that was about it. I don't like spending my money. So some bread and salad was good for me.
All right,
throwing a
guys.
flag on Olive Garden.
All right, we gotta let Teddy go. Teddy, we appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys.